All right, so we kind of just laid out all those different developments. Let's start with the one that I think a lot of people have been talking about, Lena Khan leaving the FTC. Obviously, the Biden administration coming to an end and President-elect Donald Trump taking over. What kind of FTC do you expect to see going forward with Andrew Ferguson?
I think, for a president who ran on prices being too high and workers facing a real problem with wages, antitrust is going to be a key tool in making the economy work. I'm not predicting we've got Teddy Roosevelt here, but we are going to have an aggressive antitrust regime.
So I gotta say, David, we had a Herbert Hoover reference earlier. You mentioned Teddy Roosevelt. What exactly does that mean when it comes to antitrust?
Well, it means that the Biden administration was aggressive, but it also did it in a bipartisan basis. Next Tuesday, there's going to be a hearing in the Senate Judiciary Committee about the bipartisan path to antitrust enforcement, showing the way that Republicans and Democrats have come together on most of the key principles that we need much more aggressive antitrust enforcement.
All right. President Trump, he's been very vocal, also opposing Nippon Steel buying U.S. steel. So we kind of know where he stands when it comes to that. But what about some of these other things? Hypothetically, would a president like Trump, would he be against Albertson and Kroger's, or Kroger? I used to live in the Midwest. Everybody calls it Kroger's. Kroger merging. How would you see that playing out? And do you believe that this deal could somehow reemerge?
No, I don't think so. I think this is definitely dead and buried, which is where it should be. This is a merger that posed significant anti-competitive effects, and there was no good fix to the competitive problems from the merger. Plus, there was a real skepticism by the FTC that the approach of cutting and pasting to allow parties to merge was a good policy. That's a real change in past administrations, and I think for the most part, the Trump administration is going to follow that policy, that piecemeal divestitures do not solve the competitive problems for mergers.
So can I just ask you a question as someone who used to work at the FTC? Isn't there an argument that these two companies, they have to merge to compete with a giant like a Walmart?
No, that's a Faustian bargain in which consumers basically suffer. You allow a firm to become bigger because it's supposedly going to compete better with someone else. The problem is you're giving them market power, and that market power is going to result in higher prices. By the way, there's no better example of this than pharmacy benefit managers, where the Obama FTC allowed them to merge because they wanted to create entities with greater buying power. And the result is excessively high drug prices, which are costing consumers every day.
Okay. What about OpenAI and their deal with Microsoft? Google reportedly filing a complaint believing that exclusive deal should be broken up. And we're looking at a Trump administration. Would they probe into something like that?
That's going to be very interesting. Because this is a new area that demands a lot of attention. But basically, what's at issue here is Microsoft has taken its old playbook from 25 years ago of tying arrangements, using its market power in one market to try to leverage it into another market. That could really stifle competition in AI and certainly deserves very careful attention.